Chat, here we go. Best EU you can get. This is a pretty bad EU server for Daniel, I feel like. He says no problem. All right, we got Daniel versus Mawkzy. We're going to go back and forth between EU and NA. And I tell you what, I thought we've had Daniel play on EU before. Thought he got like 100. Oh, he did. He did get 100. Okay. 100 is fine. He had 140 when he first tabbed in. Maybe he was coming in from tabbed out or something. 108 is, I mean, it's not great. Don't get me wrong. 28 is a massive advantage. But it's a little bit more playable than 140. So we're going to have this cross-region matchup. We didn't get to watch it when they were both in EU, when Daniel was in EU for the major. But I think everyone really wanted to see how these two, you know, part of the best players in the world in 1v1 right now, matched up against each other. So the way we did it, we did a coin flip. It's a great save by Daniel, by the way, because it's a solid take by Mawkzy. So to not score it is you know, a nod to Daniel. But nice flick, top left. Oh, he's stealing Mawkzy's thing. That's Mawkzy's thing. That's where Mawkzy flicks the ball. But as I was saying, we did a coin flip. Daniel got to pick the coin flip. He picked tails. The coin flip went heads, which meant we're going to start on EU servers, and we're going to go back and forth in the best of 5. EU, US East, EU, US East, etc. So, Mawkzy slightly favored there. I gave Daniel the courtesy of getting to pick his color as consolation. I think he would certainly rather take the ping advantage than getting to play on the blue team, but he is going to play on the blue team. And his opponent, of any opponent that has played, is probably the guy who cares most about his color compared to anybody else. Mawkzy has mentioned, you know, getting to play on blue team a lot more often, I think, than anybody else. Look at this flick. Mawkzy trying to show him how it's done. He said, hey, this is how you do the flick to the left side of the net. 111 kilometer per hour top left. Daniel's admittedly way weaker. Mawkzy had to prove a point on that one. And it's going to be really hard to react to those on 108 ping. Daniel, dribble off the wall. Just gets the reset too late. We talk about his game against AJ, which was on just not long ago. How every first touch was getting the reset, and then he would continue to dribble. When you do that, you threaten the use of the flip the whole way. Whereas on this one, Daniel dribbles first, resets later. Makes it much easier for Mawkzy to time his challenge. Mawkzy trying to go for a quick take is dunked. Daniel was kind of checking with his camera whether or not he was going to be able to bump Mawkzy as he approached the ball. Ultimately, forced to back off. Mawkzy bounce dribble. This time he goes top left, not with a flick, but with a hard power shot off a bounce dribble. Daniel was on his game defensively in his match before this one, but he wasn't having to save Mawkzy's booming shots. Mawkzy flipping over the top of the boost can't be what he meant to do there. Daniel gets bumped. Mawkzy, nice pre-flip back to the ball to prevent the shot. Daniel dribble, reset late, and it ends up scoring. Mawkzy felt like he was there for this save. I'm going to watch it from his perspective. I mean, it's still great movements late. So if Mawkzy's not going to challenge early, he's going to have a tough time. Wave dash kickoff from Mawkzy. We're going to see that a ton. And he actually launched Daniel so far into the air. Was Daniel trying to wave dash kickoff as well? Oh, I think he was. He just got forced up and had to use his flip late. Mawkzy's tough to beat on those wave dashes. We actually saw Jorius doing it a bit, but a rare occasion indeed. Daniel turning away as he looked to chase down this ball in the corner. Now he's staring Mawkzy down to make sure he does not get demoed by him, and he prioritizes the ball over the corner boost. He has opportunity on a long shot from the midfield. He missed wide. He knew Mawkzy was going to be stealing his corner. The net would be open. He just couldn't get that shot from the midfield. Daniel now into the air. Mawkzy, bit of a mistake on his recovery. Daniel, though, ends up tapping the ball directly into Mawkzy. Single jumps over the swinging demo attempts. Hiding behind the ball is Mawkzy, but he doesn't get a great challenge, and Daniel missed. Oh my goodness. He could not afford to miss that there. Luckily for him, Mawkzy missed as well, but I actually think Mawkzy's still going to get his goal. Maybe not, actually. Not a great first touch there. So Daniel counting his lucky stars that at the very least he didn't get scored on, but he absolutely should have scored. Mawkzy flicking top left. He knows how to score with that flick. Daniel needs to start preparing for Mawkzy's favorite location to put that ball. Daniel, can he control this ball in the corner? Doesn't have to be a loss if he gains possession quickly, but Mawkzy is actually just going to score off of it. Yeah, Daniel didn't get a good enough touch here. Mawkzy, I mean, Daniel was there. He just taps a soft one towards the net and makes Daniel make what is a slightly tough save. Certainly one that Daniel was making most of the time. Daniel wall dashing his way back to this ball. Still not able to get ahead of Mawkzy. He does pinch it across the net. But for what purpose? I'm not sure. As Mawkzy stays in control. Daniel, he's got to know where it's going. He's got to prep for the top left. I mean, he should almost go up the side wall and just sit there in that top corner where the ball is going. And maybe make Mawkzy fake it here or there. I mean, it's tough because if you really commit that hard, Mawkzy probably will fake and low 50. It'll be tough to save, but how frequently Mawkzy goes to that spot. Daniel double resets. Mawkzy can just sit and wait. Doesn't need to react early. Going for the pinch. We've seen Mawkzy score a decent amount of those. It will be an 8-2 lead here for Mawkzy. Daniel's actually going to throw the GG. So we will pause it and end it here. He doesn't want to wait the last 40 seconds. Mawkzy wins game number 1. We'll head to... I guess we could have just left. We didn't need to end it because we're going to change servers. But we're headed in US East next. Game number 2. Over on US East. Deeply Trek, thank you for the prime. 5 months. Appreciate that. Mawkzy winning the first game on EU, winning it in dominant fashion. It'll be interesting to see if Daniel wins this US East game, because unfortunately there is an outcome that could happen, which is both these guys just win on their own home servers. And even though Mawkzy comes away as technically the winner in the best of 5, you know, we're all going to have to continue to wonder what might have happened had they played on the same servers. But I would say that the majority of the times we've set up matches like these, it actually doesn't go that way, because even if it goes the way of, say, Mawkzy steals one on US East, but then Daniel, you know, wins the rest, steals 2 on EU or whatever, you know, something like that. Even if it ends in game 5, it's not necessarily the server result, right? I would say the only server result to be bummed about is if everyone wins their home server every time. Then it's like, all right, the server disadvantage was too much. But Daniel is going to score first on US East. WTF is happening in this lobby. Dancing around the net is what was happening. Daniel pushing this kickoff into the corner. They're going to connect with each other and demo each other, but that is going to be advantage Mawkzy, who now has possession and the whole field in front of him. Weak flick though. The boost did not spawn in time. Daniel trying to stay in control of this ball, but Mawkzy one step ahead right now. Gets the demo. Should be able to swing around this for an easy tap in and a first goal. Mawkzy ping 124 here to Daniel's 36, so a bit worse ping on US East for Mawkzy than Daniel gets on EU, but pretty comparable, I would say, in terms of disadvantage between the two of them. Can't you just do it like a tennis tiebreaker? They play until someone is 2 games up. If we had all day, which I don't think we do. Daniel, nice low 50. I think Daniel has a game against FaZe coming up as part of a Showmatch thing. Actually, a $10,000 match against FaZe within an hour, so we couldn't be here forever. In fact, I don't even think we would have had time for best of 7, so we're doing best of 5. And The way that it's been fixed in the past, and we've done this in the past too, as Mawkzy goes full field dribble, looking top left with every shot he takes. Not just the flicks, but the air dribbles as well. Daniel cannot get the read where Mawkzy is going as he has to turn back towards the shot. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, the normal fix to do is just do like 2 and 2. 2 on USC's, 2 on EU, and if they tie, they tie. But it always makes you feel a little bit bummed out to have a tie, as well as actually ask the players what they would prefer, whether they would want to just have a tie or have a winner and do this coin flip, and actually picked coin flip. Daniel high lob, and actually is able to get the midfield boost. I thought he was going to sacrifice it in that setup, but he got it. Mawkzy backed off into the corner. Seems like that near post is open, and it is. You know, I was waiting to see what the answer was for Mawkzy, because a lot of times players will make a section of the net look open and then take it away. That is not what happened here. Yo, Johnny, thank you for the raid of 1,000 viewers. That must mean... I have a feeling that that means Daniel, his air dribble leads to nowhere. Mawkzy, not much of a fake really, just kind of lost control of the flick, but it ends up working out well as a fake flick and something he can follow up with a 50. This is just a show match here today. We had a couple huge prize pool show matches between Mawkzy and Joyez and Daniel AJ. These two guys won. My goodness, Mawkzy's on point. When he was playing Joyez, he was launching all of these just a bit too high. But he went back to his notebook, changed the calculations, and has it perfectly dialed in now. As he slots it top left to tie the game. I guess I've already said it now. I didn't want to talk too much about the results because Johnny has like a million games, so I think his games are going to probably go up fairly slowly, and these games might go out first, which, you know, I'd hate to spoil it too much, so I'll try not to say any more about it. Mawkzy can't get up to stop this reset. Great shot from Daniel. Top left indeed. Daniel, what a recovery off the back wall to get this goal. Playing out of his own half. Worked effectively earlier today. Mawkzy had been making it through his defense so far today, but Daniel back to his previous self as he gets a couple counterattacks. Daniel low 50. Leads to nowhere. In fact, he's just got to prevent himself getting scored on right now. Daniel does make it back. Daniel now taking this to the skies. Fast dribble. He's going for the angle, and he finds it. Daniel puts it behind Mawkzy. This is a tough angle to hit, but when you're Daniel, it's a layup. Mawkzy swinging wide to grab boost. Pushes himself past where Daniel places it off the bounce. My goodness. We saw AJ save one of those in their previous matchup, which was honestly absurd that he had the read on that crazy angle that Daniel was going for. 8-4. I tell you what, the only result to feel a bit bummed about is the back and forth win on home servers. Right now, it's looking like it's going to go that way as Daniel pulling out to a 4-goal lead. Though, admittedly, Mawkzy handled his home server game with much more ease. Daniel really was nowhere close, whereas Mawkzy is definitely still in this game. Fake flick. He is being rewarded for his efforts going top left. Oh, I'm not sure Daniel would have been able to cover that anyways. One of the things that Daniel would do a lot even when he was playing ones to his best ability, is he would back off and give the other player a whole bunch of space, just try and make a save in net, which is hard to get away with against really good players. And he definitely did that there, backing all the way off, letting Mawkzy bring it to net and then 50ing. This time he does challenge, so he doesn't do it on that occasion, but Mawkzy is the read either way, so Daniel feels like he's holding on right now the final minute, trying to prevent the comeback from Mawkzy. He's going to need to win 2 on EU servers if he can't hold this one out. Daniel just barely escapes the demo, actually gets his own boost, and that might be the game ender. That dive by Mawkzy, had it worked, probably could have brought him back, but the fact that it didn't, and Daniel's going to be able to score, yeah, Moxie's even just going to forfeit. So we can just leave. We don't need me to reset the game since we're going to switch back servers. But I want everyone to watch that replay first. And then I'll hop out. Tied 1-1. You're right. I actually updated it, but I forgot to hit the update button. Daniel in the Fennec. Daniel in the endpoint Fennec. Mawkzy's been staying true to his Carmine Corp Fennec. Mawkzy trying to do something similar to what Daniel did to him in the previous game, where you speed the ball over the top of the defender and then double it at a really sharp angle down into the net. It's not easy to do. And one of the ways it can be stopped is by Daniel or the defender intercepting in the air. Daniel's going to score first as we return. Wait, we didn't return to... Oh, no, we did. Okay, switched it. We're in EU servers. Better EU server for Daniel as he has 100 ping. Should be noted. In fact, it's almost kind of nice that Daniel has a slight better connection to EU than Mawkzy does USE's, because we are doing one extra EU game. You know, it would be a bit worse if Daniel had the better connection and had to play the away server less. Daniel save. Long shot in a second. What state is Daniel playing from? I think I know that answer, but I also don't know if I want to say. I don't know why. It's not like I know his exact location or anything, but you could probably look it up on Wikipedia, I bet. Mawkzy gonna get his first goal. Daniel cutting in early after grabbing the corner boost. What server is this game? This one is on EU. They go back and forth between the two, currently on EU. Daniel backing off into net, diving once again. This time it works out, as Mawkzy does not pop it over the top of him. He takes it off the top of Moxie's car. And then he's able to rush the shot before the recovery. I just noticed, somebody mentioned it earlier, but I forgot to look, that Daniel is rocking the diamond player banner. But it looks cool. It actually matches his profile picture really well. So that's probably why he's doing it. Also, Daniel's been rocking that profile picture, I feel like, a really long time, which is unique for something that's like not really his brand or anything. You know, I don't know where that character's from, but he's had that profile picture, I think, since he first started playing. I wouldn't be surprised if he switched to a Space Station 1 when he like first got picked up. But back to wherever that character is. Yo, Jeff Gordon, thank you for the Prime, the brand new Prime. Much appreciated. It's from some video game. Yeah, I've seen a few players have it before. No double demo this time around, as these two switch positions on the field and try and chase each other down. Daniel, you know, lots of time left on the clock, but this is really the first time that any player has led on the away server. Mawkzy, very mechanical shot, but at the end of the day, the finish is low and not too tough to read for Daniel. So sometimes, just because the setup and the mechanical difficulty of a shot is incredibly high, doesn't necessarily mean it's a great shot in terms of chance to score. It's definitely the case here. Yo, Clicks, thank you for the tier 1. Brand new tier 1. Good to have you here. Mawkzy. Long shot, forced to be saved off the post. Daniel, bounce dribble. Halfway through this game, it's looked solid. The reset over the top of Mawkzy. Do you know about the Showmatch today at 4? You talking about Daniel or the Space Station versus FaZe? I know I mentioned that one earlier. Great timing of Daniel's reset. He's always had just about perfect timing as far as when to get the reset to move the ball after the defender commits. That is an example right there. Low 50 for Mawkzy. Can he get the angle back? No, Daniel recovers. And actually, Mawkzy bumps him out to continue it. Mawkzy throwing the GG with 2 minutes left to go on his home server. This, I think, is maybe a mistake of an early GG. We've had some guys throwing early GGs. Mawkzy's had a long day. Honestly, my only explanation for this is Mawkzy has had a really long day. He's played a lot of 1v1 today. It's kind of late for him. And he's been, you know, grinding hard. Won a lot of money in the process, but maybe he's like, you know what? I don't have the patience for a tough game right now. So we're going to hop out. That is a Daniel 2-1 lead, and we're back to US East next. Game number 4. Daniel gets to try and finish it out on home server. Mawkzy's going to have to steal one and then defend EU, which is not the toughest thing in the world. Daniel's shown that it can be stolen. Problem was that Mawkzy got beat in dominant fashion on his own server. Fake flick, gonna get him a goal, start this game. I mentioned it towards the end of the last game, but Mawkzy has had a really long day today. He played a tournament earlier. He actually didn't lose a single game in that, which was a best of 5 and 2 best of 7s. So at least they went shorter than they could have gone. Then he played a best of 7 against Joria's just earlier today. And now he has agreed to a best of 5 with Daniel. So lots and lots of 1v1 played for him. And I think that that probably played into why he forfeit that game so early, because no question, when you're staring down losing server advantage and you got 4 minutes, or not 4 minutes, 2 minutes, I think it was, for 5 goals, definitely worth a try to not lose advantage. But instead, Mawkzy wants to go next. Nice flick. Daniel challenges early. Maybe forces Mawkzy to flick early enough that he can't get it inside the posts. Daniel, what a catch. Surprised Mawkzy how quickly he was able to cut this back towards net. Mawkzy, who is chilling at midfield. See, he's expecting the ball to at least partially go to the sidewall where he is, but it doesn't at all. Daniel, catch and cut. Gets himself a second. Take a drink of water here. Daniel, close save. Not out of the woods yet, though. Those kind of shots were going in favor of Mawkzy earlier. Air dribble over the top of Daniel. Just needs to get it underneath the crossbar, and he does. Oh, no, he missed. He missed. Off the bounce, he misses. He couldn't get what was an awkward read with low boost, but certainly Mawkzy gets that more often than not. And he ends up slamming it back off the back wall. Daniel the other way. Mawkzy playing on pads. Great jump and air roll into the flip. Delays it just enough to get Mawkzy attacking, and then gets a ton of movement in order to get it past him. Mawkzy, what a ton of power. A surprising amount of lift on this ball. If you're Daniel, you don't expect Mawkzy to be launching it that strong from that position. Lucky flick. Hayden, I know you've been here long enough to know that Mawkzy's flicks are not lucky. Mawkzy, nice demo. Sorry about my voice chat. As I mentioned before, might not have mentioned it at the start of this game, but a little under the weather today for the low 5 stream, the low 5 vibes. Did it on purpose, of course. Oh my goodness, Mawkzy got forced into saving his own shot. He low 50'd it, which I think was headed in, and then he fell into the post and saved it himself. One reset for Daniel. Does not go for a second. Instead, a clean catch and a goal line 50 will be the answer for him. Mawkzy thought that the ball was going to be going higher. If Daniel continues that dribble, that's where Mawkzy's headed. If he catches and stays boosting, stays touching the ball, it'll push it right into where Mawkzy tried to make the save. But instead, Daniel got just one touch, then he pulled off and prepared for the 50 instead. He was pulling Mawkzy around, created his own opportunity. This time he's at ceiling height with the reset. He flips underneath the ball and puts it behind Mawkzy. He did this earlier to AJ. AJ found a way to get the save, but he's on one side of the ball, flips over to the other side, clipping it with his wheels, or really just the other, portion of his nose to put it back the other way, and it places behind Mawkzy. Daniel going to win the race to this corner boost. Mawkzy, I'm not sure what he's doing, diving in this deep. Interesting first touch from Daniel. He was going to have a Mawkzy in a tough position. He actually almost made it work, so I don't know what I was thinking. All he needed was a 1-2 out of the corner, and he just got a shot that was only barely wide. Mawkzy, he did this to Jorges earlier today. When he gains control, he just lobs flicks to the ceiling while you're shadowing right next to him. And there's really no way to go up and get it. Just directly above your head. And then before, he was trying to bump a little bit more. Try and finish it off this time. Couldn't find an opportunity to do so. Daniel off the wall. Mawkzy tried to pre-jump it. Make the save. Daniel couldn't finish it off. Minute 30. Mawkzy needs this win on USC servers. Daniel able to escape the bump attempt. Mawkzy's got a full field dribble. Will he take it? No, he chips it off the wall into a carry. You got to think he's flicking top left. You just have to think he's flicking top left. If you've watched any Mawkzy games, he has a favorite attack, and Daniel swings so far wide onto the right side of the field. You are begging for Mawkzy to do his signature move on you when you do that. And Mawkzy didn't even have to place it as well as he normally can. He just had to put it generally to the left side in order to get past Daniel. Air dribble bump from Mawkzy. Daniel escapes it, but did he escape it enough? He did. I don't think Daniel's been air dribble bumped today, and there have been a good number of attempts against him. But he has become the anti-cringe when it comes to the air dribble bump. And a demo and a 6. Oh no! Daniel, what are you doing? Might have been able to put the game away, but he just launches it off the crossbar instead. He still has control of the ball, though, so not the end of the world, as possession is maybe even better than a goal. I mean, it's tough to make that argument, but you go back to a kickoff, Mawkzy scores it, another kickoff, Mawkzy scores it. There's a terrible world in which the kickoffs result in you getting scored on. There it is, an air dribble bump that goes in. Daniel couldn't keep this one out. I think Daniel wishes he had his goal now. No argument can be made for being down 1 with 21 seconds. Big kickoff win. Able to power through Mawkzy's wave dash. Mawkzy very much not trying to connect with Daniel as he comes back to the ball, which is interesting. I would have think Mawkzy in that position would have been better off getting the demo, respawning right underneath the ball and having all the field in front of him. Daniel's being an absolute pest. He is defending in these final moments by just staying all over the ball. This backflip sends the ball high. Daniel's got the entire ground to shoot at, and he hits it. So he wins 3-1. GG's from both these guys. A steal on the EU servers. Played way too much once today. Yeah, I think that was what I saw with that previous forfeit. Thanks for playing. I am sure you will play again on Feer Ping before it's too late. GG's.